Since 2003, this is the Sports Source, East Tennessee's #1 sports talk show.
Presented by Junk Be Gone, Phoenix Conversions.
With your host, John Pennington. The Sports Source starts now.
Good Sunday morning. Welcome into the Sports Source. Happy 4th of July weekend to you. Hope you've had a good one so far. Hope the rest of the day is fun for you. We're going to have some 4th of July fun here, hopefully. Let me show you what we're talking about today. It won't be fun right off the top because we're going to talk about college football possibly being in doubt. Not a great week. This is 2 weeks in a row where things haven't gone in the right direction. We'll talk about what's going on around the country and how that might impact the Southeastern Conference and therefore Tennessee. College revenue, the hits there are growing. You're starting to see the fallout from the loss of revenue. We'll discuss that a little bit. We'll have an update on Vols recruiting, and that includes the surprise news about VFL Jay Graham. Then we'll have a little fun. Holiday plus history plus Vols football. It's better than just your typical which do you like better on the 4th of July, hot dogs or hamburgers discussion. So we'll keep it UT football, a little history for you, a little holiday fun, a little patriotism. The debate over nicknames, that's hitting big. How long until that hits in the Southeastern Conference, specifically with Ole Miss and down the road at Maryville High School? And then what's lost with mobile digital tickets? UT's going to mobile tickets. I'm not a big fan of that. We'll discuss. We'll see if anybody else is. Come on with me and we'll do this show. The first segment brought to you by Junk Be Gone. Whether you want to simply rent a driveway dumpster, fill it up and with old junk, old furniture, and then let them haul it off, or whether you want a team of their people to come in masked up to carry out your larger items for you, they do it. They do either one. Junk Be Gone. And if you're a business or even if you're just looking to shred your personal stuff, they do shredding as well. JunkBeGone.biz to learn more about this fine local company. All right. First two members of today's panel are right here. Josh Ward from 99.1 The Sports Animal. Thank you. Welcome.
Hey, Sean. For the record, Team Hamburger.
Team Hamburger, better than hot dog. And then Chuck Cavaleras, who is a hot dog.
Yes, making a team hot dog.
We've got Chuck, who's a longtime sports writer in this town, and many other, been with us since, I don't know about week one, but certainly
Year one.
Year one, no question.
Or year zero.
That's right, year zero. Let's start today with a lot of COVID-related issues that are now popping up. Greg Sankey, commissioner of the SEC, said recently that this month, by the end of this month, we'll know. The league's going to have to make decisions for Labor Day at some point in July. So, we're here to the nitty-gritty. Here's the landscape he's taking in, if we can put this graphic up. COVID cases, as you know, are rising across the country. All right, so you're dealing with that. USC decided this week that it will move to mainly online classes for the fall, which puts football in question because if you're not asking other students to be on campus, do you ask football players and other athletes to be on campus? So that's a question. Penn State saw a 21-year-old student die this week of coronavirus. I know they're supposed to be impregnable, but it can happen to young people as well. That kid was off campus. But as soon as I saw it, I thought, my gosh, what happens at any one of these SEC schools if one kid dies on campus? You're going to have, that's where it turns incredibly serious. Pac-12 is considering a conference-only schedule, which we talked about months ago, also talking about delaying football until the spring. The SEC has postponed what was to be a virtual-only media days. So they went to a virtual-only media days this year, and now they've gone ahead and postponed that as well. Haven't put a date on it. The TSSAA has delayed the start of football work and other sports to go along with the governor's decree. And Tennessee, if you're wondering, is intending to give out more COVID tests in the coming days as their athletes all arrive on campus. Okay, not a great week. Second week in a row we've had to discuss that. Let me start with a specific on that long list, and then we'll go generic. The Pac-12, considering spring football. Lincoln Riley, Oklahoma's coach, said, yeah, it can be done. The SEC, as reported by Brandon Marcello of 24/7 Sports, is not right now considering it. They have not discussed the spring football. Greg Sankey says he's talked about 20 different options, but one of them isn't spring football. wise to not discuss spring football or dumb to not talk about everything? And I think the way I phrased that question gives you my answer.
Yeah, right.
Thoughts?
I've continued to say, put everything on the table. You can plan to start on time and have everything ready to go. I mean, realistically, that's not what's going to happen in terms of having full capacity at stadiums. But I would say consider all options and absolutely do everything you can to play football this fall. That's better for business. You're going to have more players. If they play in the spring, you're going to have some star players that say, I'm not playing. I'm going to just prepare for the NFL draft because the season would take place. Because there was also a report this week that the NFL is not interested in pushing back the draft. So you want to play this fall. I think everybody recognizes that. But the SEC needs to pay attention to what the other power conferences are at least considering.
I would kind of take the other side and say that if it comes down to spring football, unfortunately, you're going to have plenty of time to make those plans between now and then. And everything we've seen is we're proceeding full speed ahead, hoping we can do this and adjust accordingly. I would still think the chances, not just spring, but maybe even winter after like the Super Bowl or something, would be something I think that they could look at. But
I think by spring that just means spring semester, which would be in that time frame.
But until everything is kind of like removed, until the dominoes start to fall, I think they're going to proceed just like everything may still happen and adjust whether you have fans or how many fans and do it that way.
The right now, and personally, I would take a wait and see approach. We don't know; things could change. They've certainly changed in the last few weeks. Now, if the track keeps going and people aren't taking it seriously and don't react, it's going to continue to get worse. But we may, as a country, decide to take this seriously and get it down again. So we don't know what's going to happen. I take a wait and see approach. But boy, if you're somebody who bites your nails and you're wanting college football, now's the time to bite them, I think. With the news from around the country, this is just a bad week.
Well, you're not even expressing an opinion. That's a statement from Big Ten officials, SEC, the governor of South Carolina, with almost a warning saying, hey, if it doesn't clear up here in the next few weeks, we're not having college football this fall. That was in his statement. So it's being talked about from the East Coast, Big Ten, SEC country. You mentioned Oklahoma, the Pac-12. So all the major conferences, it becomes even more challenging for the smaller conferences. So no matter your opinions on coronavirus and all the conversation the last few months, it's just a fact at this point that officials, presidents, and athletic directors, commissioners, they're more concerned about the ability to play football. Still planning on it and hopeful, but less optimistic in the last couple of weeks.
Which the interesting thing there will be to see what the backlash is against those presidents and chancellors. Yeah. Because you have a certain group of people who do not believe in the virus and are not going to believe in the virus, and they still look at the numbers and they say, it's doctored, it's fake. Those people are going to be upset with whoever takes their college football away. And I wonder if you're going to have politicians who say you shouldn't have it taken away from you.
That's also, isn't it, why Philip Fulmer had a message saying, put on a mask, and he's not the only one, administrator, saying, put on a mask, let's have football, using football as the driving force.
Now, we've seen how this is so much, too, you think regionally. Remember when they were saying just wait until the summer and the heat and humidity, and that's really going to help curtail this? Well, look at the state of Florida right now. I mean, that's
Texas, Arizona, and California.
Exactly. And a lot of the states that tried to open up are now saying, we made a mistake. We did that too soon. And now you're kind of paying the consequences of what they're saying. People didn't take it as seriously once things did open back up. So I think, obviously, it's not just, it's so national in different areas. I don't see how you're going to be able to do it from day one. Do you?
No, but I haven't thought you could since this first hit.
Right.
When you look at this, Josh, the interesting thing is the Philip Fulmer tweet that you mentioned. We talked about it last week, showed it to you last week. I thought it was a good message, but we didn't get to it on the show, but off the show. The replies to Philip Fulmer about that message. No, we're not wearing a mask. I don't know, I wouldn't say most, but a lot of the people who responded to the tweet
specifically said, with a lot of back and forth.
Not doing it. So, even if you've got heroes and legends saying this is real, you're going to have people that say, no, now give me my football. Not realizing that the two things mesh. So, anyway, it's...
And again, that was the whole point. I don't know the whole point, but that was a major driving factor in his message was to say football.
Oh, yeah. If you want football, then wear your mask. Get the spread.
And you're talking when the athletes get
we're
back.
Not going to.
What about the student population starts getting back, too? I mean, that's when it could really get way out of control.
That's where you get back into the how you get the students on campus Do you not get students on campus, but you do get athletes on campus? That's a big issue. Let's save that. We'll roll that over in the next segment. Money is starting to be an issue, even to the point that major schools dropping sports, major schools cutting salaries, shoe companies breaking contracts. We'll discuss. It's even hitting close to home. Come on back on the Sports.